Ciao tutti! Buongiorno! Are you ready to cook like an Italian? I sure hope so, because we're going to make a classic Italian dish today, risotto. So there's so many different types of risotto, and you can use chicken, you can use mushrooms. Today I'm doing a mascarpone and peas. It's kind of a springtime risotto. I want to thank the Arizona Farm Bureau for educating me on what's growing in the ground in Arizona, including rice and grains. In fact, I want to tell you a very quick story. Yuma, Arizona is known as the winter lettuce bowl of the nation, because when everybody else in the country is freezing, we are cranking out leafy greens for the whole country like you wouldn't believe. You'll find out more information if you listen to their podcast at Fill Your Plate Now. And I also want to thank Queen Creek Olive Mill for creating the most delicious olive oils, which we're going to use today. And we're going to top it off with some Meyer lemon olive oil, because I've got lemon zest in there and it'll be perfect. Okay, here is how to make risotto. You're going to heat your skillet up with some butter and good olive oil. You want to just soften those onions so that they're nice and translucent. I've got a little bit of caramelization going on in there, and I think that's going to be just great because that'll make it nice and sweet. Now, I've got some chicken broth ready to go, nice and hot, about 6 to 8 cups. I've got arborio rice, and this is how you make risotto, with arborio or Carnivale rice. No other type of rice will work for the risotto, because this is going to cook for quite a while and you want it to stay firm. So I'm dumping in a couple of cups of the arborio rice, mixing that with the sauteed onion. And then now, once I get it all incorporated, I'm going to start adding my liquid. The risotto is the type of dish that you can't add everything at once. It has to go in stages. So be patient. You're going to be babysitting the pot of risotto for quite a while. So in goes my first couple of spoonfuls of chicken broth. You can use veggie broth, beef broth, whatever you like. Now what happens here is I'm going to add more broth as it absorbs. So I want to take it down to where you barely see any liquid, and then I'll add more chicken broth. The risotto's looking really good. I just added 2 more scoops of chicken broth, and now I'm going to add more flavor. I'm going to add some white wine. While that's cooking, I want to tell you about how we're going to end this dish. We've got frozen peas, and what I'm going to do is mix the frozen peas into the risotto when it's almost ready to, almost done. And then the mascarpone gets lemon juice, some mascarpone and some heavy cream. That's going to get rolled into that risotto as it's almost cooked. So this is going to take just a few minutes. I'm going to grab some things out of the refrigerator. When we come back, the risotto should be ready to add the mascarpone. We're cooking like an Italian today. The risotto's looking so good. It's got about 15 minutes more to cook. So at this point, what I'd like to do is add some other ingredients. So I'm going to add some lemon zest. The lemon zest is going to really brighten this springtime risotto. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the salt, and I'm going to add some pepper. When you use 6 to 8 cups of chicken broth, and you can see here that it's really absorbing, the rice is absorbing that. Maybe at this point, don't add more chicken broth, just add more water. Taste it, because that chicken broth is going to make it so salty. So the more chicken broth you add, the saltier it gets. So at this point, use your 6 to 8 cups of chicken broth and then start adding the water. Taste it and see what you think. So I'm going to add the frozen peas. And this is truly, truly an Italian springtime risotto. While that's cooking, like I said, it's got about maybe 15 more minutes. I'm going to put together the last bit of ingredients that we need. A little bit of lemon juice. We use the zest. Now we're going to use the juice. Some mascarpone. Oh, it makes the risotto so creamy and so rich. I could eat a container of mascarpone just with a spoon. It's that good to me. And then some heavy cream. So this is going to create such a richness to this dish. Another sort of a peasant food. Risotto is it's just so traditional peasant food, and a lot of times people are so intimidated by making it from scratch, but it's super easy and delicious. Okay, we're going to give it a few more minutes, add this, and we will plate it up. Oh, the risotto looks beautiful. This is such a simple recipe. I just absolutely love it so much. So all of that liquid is absorbed. I did end up using about a cup of water. I didn't want to make it too salty. Look how smooth and creamy it is, but it's not done yet. Now I want to add that lemon zest, the mascarpone, and the cream, but I also want a nice handful of Parmigiana cheese to go in there. So we want a cheesy, creamy goodness. Mix that all together, and this is the last thing that will go into your risotto. Right in there. Oh my goodness. This will add the glory. This will add the beautiful, rich creaminess that you want in a risotto. Unfortunately, at least in my opinion, you can't really eat risotto the next day. It's got to be one of those things that you make, sit down at the table, break a little bread, have a little wine, and make a meal out of this beautiful pot of goodness. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to give it one more second, and then we're going to plate it up. And one more scoop for good measure. Does that look like comfort food at its finest, or what? A little bit more Parmigiano on top, and maybe a little bit of fresh parsley, and you have a risotto with mascarpone that's perfect for spring, summer, winter, fall, anytime. Look at that. I hope you make this. It's delightful. It will make your heart so happy. When we come back, we're going to make Italian donut holes. It's Carnivale. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cook Like an Italian. So if you've got room in your tummy after the risotto, we are going to make the most delicious Italian treat. These are called Zeppole. They're little Italian donut holes, and they're very popular during Carnivale in Venice. So Carnivale happens 10 days before Lent, generally the end of January to the beginning of February. And you'll find them on the streets all over the place, and they are just a little bite of Italian goodness. So here's what I did. In this hot skillet, I added half a cup of water, half a cup of milk, and 1 stick of butter, 8 tablespoons of butter, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of salt. I brought that to a boil, and now I'm going to take 1 whole cup of flour, dump that right in, and I'm going to stir it really, really quickly. So this is the dough that makes the donut holes. I have got some oil and shortening heating up, and I want to heat it. The best frying temperature is between 365 and 375. I've got that all going, and I've got a tip for you once we start deep frying. So this all gets mixed together. What this does, when you dump all the flour at once, it kind of cooks it in this hot pot, and it also wicks out that moisture. So just going to give this a quick stir. Okay, this is going to go in my bowl like that. These are so much fun. This is another one of those great recipes that you might want to do with your kids. Now that I've got that in there, I'm going to add 4 eggs, and I'm just going to blend this up real quick. So that's my dough right there. Take these off. And I'm going to set this aside for the afternoon because I'm going to eat every one of those later. This is the dough. This can go either in a piping bag, but what I like to do is spoon it into the oil. So come on over and let me show you how we're going to deep fry these. I've got a secret for you. I want to get my oil to 375, and there it is. So here's the best tip I can give you. This is a deep frying secret. When you're deep frying anything, use half vegetable oil and half Crisco. That is the magic formula. What that does is the Crisco allows that hot oil to extend the heat without burning. So this is a huge secret for people that do a lot of fried chicken and stuff. So it's a 375. I've got my Zeppole dough right here. And what I'm going to do is just take little spoonfuls and plop them in that hot oil. And it's not going to take long at all. Now, like I said, you could use a piping bag, but I really like sort of the random little donut holes right here. These make such a wonderful after dinner treat or after school or anytime. Go good with a nice glass of champagne as well. Okay. I'm just going to flip these. Look at how cute they are. Just little bubbles of deliciousness. Carnivale style. They only take a couple of minutes. Again, 375 degrees is the magic formula for deep frying. Almost there. We don't want to get them too brown because, as you know, when you take something out of hot oil, it's going to continue to cook and darken. So almost there. Look at that. Aren't they beautiful? They're so much fun. So easy. This one looks like a little sea creature, doesn't it? Something. Love that. Okay, beautiful. We're not done yet. Once we deep fry them, we have one more step to go. And here are the little Italian donut holes, the Zeppole. Aren't they beautiful? They're light and fun and delicious. And the last thing I'm going to do is get my flour one, which you all love, I know, and just dust it with a little bit of powdered sugar. Look at that. And then in true Carnivale style, they're going to go right into a street container where you can walk all along the water and the shops. Oh, let me see. Here's my little sea urchin right there. Let me have that. There you go. Look at this. Is that adorable? And they're little bite-sized clouds of goodness. I love the Zeppole. These are going to be so fun for you to make. So today we did the Zeppole, but first we did a beautiful springtime risotto with mascarpone and peas. This Queen Creek olive oil is the Meyer lemon, and it is going to finish this dish off like nobody's business. Look at how beautiful that is. Another fantastic Italian meal, because you know what? We're cooking like an Italian here today. I want to thank my sponsors, Queen Creek Olive Mill. You can find all of their great products at queencreekolivemill.com. And of course, the Arizona Farm Bureau that's teaching all of us how to eat farm to table, how to appreciate what's coming out of the soil. And you can go online to fill your plate now and listen to the podcast all about farming and ranching, and you can connect with farmers if you have any questions. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for letting me share my Italian heart with you, and we'll see you next time when we cook like an Italian. Mmm.